Darling, you got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
Welcome back, Junkies on 106.7 The Fan. Going to talk to our Redskins beat reporter Brian McNally shortly. Preview this first preseason game. See if RG3 returns to his rookie form. But join us right now to preview the PGA Championship. Is the voice of CBS's golf coverage, which of course you can watch Saturday, Sunday, 2 to 7 p.m. from Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, Kentucky. It's the great Jim Nantz. What's happening, Jim?
Hey guys, how's everybody doing this morning?
We're doing well.
How are you?
Don't forget, he's also the lead voice for the NFL on CBS.
Yeah, we'll get to some NFL, but the PGA is front and center, and you guys at CBS have to be happy and hopeful that Tiger will be around this weekend. What are your thoughts on Tiger?
Actually, I don't hope for anything. You know, my job is not to worry about the ratings. My job is to worry about telling the story of whatever that story might be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are some sales guys who are hoping and worrying and that kind of stuff. I never concern myself with that.
Yeah. What was your thought when you saw Tiger kind of laboring there down, on the front nine last week, and then of course when he couldn't even bend down to pick up his tee after that drive, and then walking off the course didn't even look like he was able to get it over?
I never thought there would be any chance he'd be here today.
No way.
No way.
I didn't think so.
I just couldn't imagine that. You know, he was in so much pain after he hit that last shot at Firestone. I really thought maybe he'd blown out the back again. You know, that might be something that could require even a second surgery, because a lot of people have felt he came back too soon. And I never would have believed that a matter of 72 hours he'd be at Valhalla out playing a practice round.
Do you think that he's playing this week because he thinks to himself he has a legitimate chance to win, or do you think he's playing to try and prove to Tom Watson that he should be on the Ryder Cup squad?
Oh, I think this is totally about him trying to take another shot at a major. That's what he's predicated his whole career on, is trying to win major championships. And he's 38 years old. I still think that if the back and the knee can hold up, what the things he's had surgeries on in the past, if somehow he never has those issues again, I mean, he could play in potentially another 40 major championships. I think this is all about him trying to give it his best shot to win a major.
Yeah. What's going to be the major challenge for him with the back problem, with the back issues on this particular course?
About 50 other players in the field.
Yeah.
Well,
what about the course in general, though?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I actually think the course sets up really well for Tiger. I mean, he obviously got a track record here. He won in 2000. If you look back at his scores then, they were shooting really lights out back then, and I think there's going to be really low scores here again this week. So, no, the course is pretty wide open by comparison to Firestone last week, a real tree-lined course, and Tiger's been fighting his driver. And, he's got to like what he sees here. Comes back to a place where he has success, and of course, it should be a little bit more forgiving if he's hitting some loose shots off the tee.
We're joined by Jim Nantz. You can hear his coverage on CBS of the 2014 PGA Championship Saturday and Sunday, 2 till 7 on CBS. Do you think deep down that Rory McIlroy's a little bit pissed that he's won the last two tournaments? He's raked in
this is a very good question, by the way.
Over $3 million in his last two events, and
the money's meaningless to him.
Yeah,
because,
that's true.
He's being paid tens of millions. That he probably doesn't even know that stat. But
right.
Keep going with your question.
Right, but then it's all about Tiger. You know, Rory's playing at one of the highest levels of his career, if not the highest.
No, he's playing one of the highest levels in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he beat Tiger by 23 shots 3 weeks ago. And, of course, Tiger didn't finish last week, but he was 16 shots out of first going into Sunday. How many years has it been since Tiger won a major?
6.
6 years.
Yeah.
And how many in the last 3 years has Rory won?
3.
3.
Yep.
By 8 shots. 8 shots. Now, he won by only, I think, 2 at Liverpool, and then, of course, he beat the world's best last week. So, would he be – would it – I mean, your question was a great question. I think there's not a lot that really bothers Rory, and that's part of why he's so good. But, I got to think that somewhere in the back of his mind he's got to be saying, what do I got to do to be the story?
Yeah.
What do I got to do to be the story of
Right.
the sport? Because this is his time. I mean, it's clearly been tracking this way. And I get it. Tiger is he's a rock star. I mean, he shows up at the course here yesterday, and I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The whole press center basically emptied out and was standing by his parking spot. I mean, like, what did they expect to see? I mean, give Tiger some room. Let him park his car. Let him put his shoes on and go. Watch him warm up on the range and talk to him after the round. I don't know what. It's amazing. It's taken on like a bigger persona, the whole thing, than just a golf tournament. And it's amazing. Tiger continues to be what people want to talk about, at least when I do these interviews. And Rory, all he does is continue to win, and he's definitely second fiddle.
Jim, how much ahead of time was the press tipped off that Tiger was going to be at Valhalla?
I think it was a little less than 2 hours that he was going to take this 2:00 practice time out. Of course, I've been out there all day for the last 3 days, and as we talked about earlier, Monday I'm here. I'm thinking, well, how come he hasn't pulled out of the tournament yet?
Mm-hmm.
And what's he waiting for? And then Tuesday, certainly he's got to be some sort of announcement today that he's not going to be able to play. He's going to take the rest of the year off. And then as Tuesday kind of started to get a little deeper into the afternoon, I began thinking, maybe he's going to play in this thing. And to his credit, somehow, he's been able to get the spasms under control. And yesterday, when he arrived here, there did not appear to be any lingering effects of what we saw on Sunday in Akron, Ohio.
By the way, Jim Nantz also going to be part of Thursday Night Football this year on CBS. Before we get to a couple of NFL questions, you mentioned Rory. He's hotter than everybody on the planet, but Sergio Garcia is right behind him. What does he have to do to get over the hump?
Well, I don't want to throw cold water over what Sergio's done here, but he has been right behind him in terms of he's been in second place at the World Golf Championships and at the Open Championship. But Rory right now is he is the ruler of this sport. It's just a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't want to realize that or recognize that. But Sergio is, he's playing his best golf, and I think it has a lot to do with just how happy he is in his own personal life.
Yeah.
Got a really nice lady that's, crazy about, and, if they got married in the next year, it wouldn't surprise me a bit. He's content. He's happy. His golf game reflects that. He's an emotional player. He's such a likable guy. And if he was the one on Sunday afternoon who was lifting the Wanamaker Trophy, I think there would be a lot of people in this sport that would be thrilled for him that that day has finally arrived. And it wouldn't surprise me because he's definitely in good form right now.
Speaking of getting married, Jim, is it true that you got married recently on the 7th hole at Pebble?
Well, it wasn't that recently, but it was 2 years ago in June. We got married on the seventh tee.
How nice is that?
At Pebble Beach.
I heard that.
No, that's the par 3, correct? Down the hill.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's the 100-yard par 3.
Right.
And it was attended by about 200 people.
Nice.
It was the first ever officially sanctioned wedding that had ever taken place at the 7th hole by Pebble Beach. By that I mean there had been some people that had, I think, gone out there with the justice of the peace and picked that spot in the past. But thankfully, the Pebble Beach Company was kind enough to let us do that.
Yeah, you didn't have the marshals chasing you off the 7th hole. It was
No.
legit.
We had no one playing through. It was
Shut down.
It was on a June evening,
Uh-huh.
and the last players had gone through about an hour and a half before that, and it was just one of those kind of beautiful orange sky, clear blue sky, but kind of an orange hue to it. Kind of a nights, and we had 4 major champions from the game in attendance, and more importantly, I got to begin my life with a wonderful lady who has since given us a beautiful daughter.
Oh,
congrats.
nicely
Yeah,
done.
we
Nice.
had right on the eve of the NCAA tournament, March Madness,
Uh-huh.
which is a big part of my life.
Of course.
March the 14th. A little girl named Finley was born out in Monterey, California, and I could not be happier or more blessed.
Well, congratulations. Real quick, what's your handicap now?
Oh, it's off the chart. I mean, it's like 12, 13, 14. It's going up the longer I talk about it. I don't play that much, guys. I live out there, and I'm around a lot of great golf courses. I enjoy walking them, but with a little baby in my life, I'm not into being away from Findlay nor my wife for any more than an hour or two. If I'm not on the road working, I want to be home. I want to be with them.
Well, Jim, thanks for the time. We always appreciate it. Looking forward to your call on CBS this weekend from Valhalla 2014.
Thanks, guys. Hey, great stuff. I love being on with you. So
hey, we love having you
sometime. Okay.
Definitely.
All right, buddy. See you, Jim.
Thanks, guys.
Jim. That's Jim Nantz, just a consummate pro.
Jim, 55 years old, just had a kid.
I can only
Nicely
imagine how much it costs to get married on the 7th hole at Pebble Beach.
Yeah. I don't know how he did it because you have to have connections out there.
Well, it sounds like he's pretty connected. I believe Tom Brady
He
was.
totally missed that. I was being facetious.
I know. But Tom Brady was there. Bob Kraft was there.
Yeah.
Said 4 majors winners were at his wedding.
By the way, this is probably meaningless, but
Yeah.
Jason's had the Golf Channel on in the background. And for the most part, it's focused on the driving range,
Mhm.
the guys practicing out of the bunker and on the putting green. One thing I noticed, don't know if it means anything, is Tiger was out there to the last second. Like, he's supposed to tee off at 8:35, might have been pushed back a few minutes. But the other guys that he's playing with, Phil Mickelson and Patty Harrington, they finished like 10 minutes before him. It was like Tiger was trying
he showed
to
up at the course 20 minutes ago.
It reminded me of what I would do before big exams, whether it was like law school or college,
cramming.
where you're cramming until like the last minute, thinking that it's really going to help. And clearly, because of the injury, he didn't get as much practice time as the others, at least at Valhalla. He might have been practicing on Monday at his home course. But I just found it interesting
I'm sure he was.
that he's putting literally like 4 minutes before, and 10 minutes before they showed Phil Mickelson and his caddy walk by Tiger's caddy, who wasn't on the green. He was at like a different spot, like as they're walking to the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And Phil gives, it's LaCava, right?
Joe
Gives LaCava a fist bump, gives him a pound. And meanwhile, Tiger's out there cramming his putting. He's putting and chipping, and he's like sweating profusely. It's like he's trying to get all the shots
First
in.
of all, they don't push back tee times. If he's teeing off at 8:35, he's teeing off at 8:35.
He's going. Yeah.
So
it's not like he's playing at a muni down the street.
It's
He's
just
playing a major.
It's just a matter of the routine. Now, usually a golfer will go hit the range first and hit shot, and then he'll go to the practice green.
Right.
All right. And then from the practice green, they'll go to the first tee box. But it's just a matter of what routine he was. Maybe he was working on something that he wanted, he was doing something on the range he didn't like. He was trying to work it out. Who knows? But usually they'll go from the driving range to, the practice bunker and then the practice
And
green.
I know he's not tight with Phil Mickelson. Supposedly they don't really like each other, so maybe he doesn't want to hang around the tee box with Phil because it could get awkward. But it just seemed to me the Tiger was getting there at the last possible second.
Well, we'll see how it works.
You
Did it
have it on
seem-
your computer?
Did it seem
Yeah,
to
I
you
got it up right
guys
now.
during the Jim Nantz interview, he's a little bit feisty at the beginning of it?
It was a little bit.
But he's great. I love him.
Yeah.
He was maybe a little testy.
And apparently he likes us.
Yeah, good. We like him.
If he even knows who we are.
Oh, he doesn't know who we
He's
are.
on a radio
Are
tour.
you kidding? He has no clue who we are.
15 minutes ago, he was talking to Tiki Barber.
So he's going to
Yes.
tell them that he likes being on their show too.
Maybe. Probably will.
But yeah, so TNT has coverage Thursday,
Oh,
Friday.
I
CBS.
forgot. He's got his own wine line. Forgot to angle. We never get any.
It
freebies
sounded like he
anymore.
wanted to keep talking about these, but you had us rushing off.
Yeah,
He had to go.
he had to go.
He's
Media
doing the radio
commitments.
tour.
Okay, but he was the one who started talking about his kid and his marriage and all that stuff.
Well,
I mean,
Cakes brought it up, or you brought it up.
I know, but he expanded on the question.
did.
Right.
He's
You want to talk about
butt-sized.
his relatively new wife and his child.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't need to know that every major championship or champion in the history of golf was at his wedding. I didn't. He offered that up.
Can you imagine?
I didn't know he had a 7-month-old daughter. I didn't know that.
I mean, what do you take home from his wedding? The tchotchke in the middle of the table must have been amazing at Nancy's wedding. Must have been great. Just coveting. Coveting.
So anyway, so TNT has coverage today and tomorrow, and then CBS has it on Saturday and Sunday. PGA Championship.
And he was
Tiger
right.
teeing off in about 10 seconds.
He doesn't care really whether Tiger makes it the weekend, but the suits and the execs,
Right.
oh, they definitely care. They're doing a Tiger dance and hoping he's competitive.
That's right. That's why he was feisty.
that they make it to Saturday
I
and
asked him
Sunday.
about the first question
Yeah,
about
maybe
Tiger
you got him a
Woods.
little Rick.
You got a little Rick. All right, we're going to talk to Brian McNally next. Preview Redskins' first preseason game against the New England Patriots. Our Redskins beat reporter Brian McNally joins us next on The Fan.